Massive election scandal in Venezuela as Argentinian leader Javier Milei claims communist tyrant Nicolas Maduro has lost his election in Venezuela. Then Maduro regime claims victory despite contradictory exit polls. What happened in this communist tyrant's Venezuela and their recent election? We're unpacking all this and so much more here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by My Patriot Supply, providing emergency meal kits to American patriots at preparewithvnn.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. More election rigging in another South American country. Argentinian leader Javier Milei claims communist tyrant Nicolas Maduro has lost his election in Venezuela. Then Maduro regime claims victory despite contradictory exit polls. What really happened in the Venezuelan election? We have the evidence here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by My Patriot Supply, providing emergency meal kits to Americans since 2008 at preparewithvnn.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, we all know that the American elections are not safe from rigging or even straight up fraud. While we're told otherwise, we are censored and muzzled as we try to point this out. However, sometimes it can be a little more obvious, like in the case of South America's Venezuela, where communist tyrant Nicolas Maduro grasps onto power. The Gateway Pundit reports. Argentinian President Javier Milei announced late Sunday night that communist dictator Nicolas Maduro has lost the national election in Venezuela. Venezuelans chose to end the communist dictatorship, Milei posted this on Sunday night. Dictator Maduro out. Venezuelans chose to end the communist dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro. The data announces a crushing victory for the opposition, and the world is waiting for it to recognize defeat after years of socialism, misery, decadence, and death. Argentina is not going to recognize another fraud and hopes that the armed forces this time will defend democracy in the popular freedom advances in Latin America. Dictator Maduro out. The exit polls have Maduro losing by a landslide, 66.6% for opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez and 30.86% for Nicolas Maduro. A Chavista worker allegedly posted a selfie from the computing center, inadvertently revealing on multiple screens the overwhelming defeat of Nicolas Maduro in several states. George Behizi reported the initial results. Now, to explain this, the opposition leader even claims that they won, even though obviously Maduro has claimed victory. Listen to what they had to say. I want to remind you that there are subtitles, so make sure that you follow along as this is in Spanish. Watch.
Decirle a todos los venezolanos y al mundo entero que Venezuela tiene un nuevo presidente electo y es Edmundo González. Ganamos y todo el mundo lo sabe. Todo el mundo lo sabe. Quiero que sepan que esto ha sido algo tan abrumador, tan grande, que hemos ganado en todos los sectores del país, en todos los estratos del país, en todos los estados del país, en todos ganamos.
And that's what she's saying. Look, we've won everything. And the exit data suggests that they won. Now, when you look at the poll numbers, you have the same little jump, right, that we had during the 2020 election when Biden suddenly overtook Trump, when all the mail-in ballots got dumped into the ones that they didn't verify the signatures, that you didn't need voter ID to place. Well, obviously, all that's in place because why? Because, well, they like to cheat. Now, Trump weighed in on this directly, and he had a few choice words. I want you to listen to his response. Here's what he had to say.
No radical left Democrat politician has ever been able to explain why their party is so rabidly opposed to voter ID. And that's the biggest giveaway of all, that they are cheating on a monumental scale. They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat. For years, Democrat politicians have claimed that voter ID is racist, but there's nothing racist about an ID. And the suggestion that Democrat voters are incapable of getting driver's licenses is one of the most offensive ideas in American life today. What century are these radical Democrats living in? Americans of all colors and creeds are fully capable of obtaining identification, which is required to drive a car, buy a beer, see an R-rated movie, get on an airplane, get a bank account, check into a hotel, and even to get cold medicine at a pharmacy. Over 80% of Americans support voter ID, yet in the last Congress, every single Democrat in the House of Representatives voted to ban voter ID nationwide. So the House of Representatives votes, and all of the Democrats voted to ban voter ID nationwide. That's because they cheat. And with their policies, which are so bad and so destructive, especially to our cities, our inner cities, no wonder they have to cheat, because nobody could get elected with those policies. In the anti-Democrat party, only two things are sacred: open borders and no voter ID. They want open borders to destroy our country, and they don't want voter ID because they want to cheat. There's only one reason why you support either of these insane ideas, and that's because you intend to cheat like crazy, and that's what they do. When I'm reelected, we will secure our borders, and we will launch a nationwide campaign to get voter ID in every federal, state, and local election. What we really want to do is get down to paper ballots, one-day voting, and voter ID, and we're going to have safe elections again. Thank you very much.
And that's the truth. Is he saying, look, what's happening in Venezuela is exactly what's happening in the United States. You don't have ID. You don't allow, paper ballots only. You allow all these mail-in ballots. If we were to secure our elections, we'd want the most secure routes possible. That's why it's almost counterproductive to even try to, prove rigging, because obviously it's happening. Because you can prove by the way they fight measures that would protect our elections that they definitely don't want them safeguarded. Now, you think, well, okay, well, how's that going to be a problem? You think we're ever going to have communism here? Well, yeah, communism is in the United States, intersectional Bolshevism, right? This is sort of this Marxism, this Eastern ideology of certain groups of people that continue to influence our society and our culture. McCarthy warned us about it. Walt Disney warned us about it. Many people warned us about it. But of course, we had to go to war in World War II, in a brother war, eventually team up with the Marxists, which I think was a very, very foolish decision. And then we ended up in the Cold War, and now we ended up with our countries infiltrated by these terrible, terrible ideologues. Now, many of you know that the insanity never ends. And I was thinking the other day, I've been in positions where I'm like, I got to go buy another gun because I needed something to conceal, because things are getting weird out there. You ever feel like that with your family, even if you're not married, with yourself, just like, I need to be prepared because it feels like something's about to go wrong. Well, if you're thinking that, so am I. And that's why I'm making sure I'm protecting my family, not just with weapons, but making sure they're not going to be hungry. I picked up a bunch of the 1-week meal kits at my Patriot Supply. These 1-week meal kits are so good because they're nutritious, delicious. They have over 2,000 calories, so everyone in my family can be full. And they last 25 years stored in this rugged ammo can. So basically, even if I buy them today, nothing happens for years. I'm prepared for decades. What can you say of a product that you can buy today that can protect you for decades that's perishable? Not a lot. You can always go buy food at the store, but that'll go bad in a year or two. Get these meal kits right now, $50 off at preparewithvnn.com. You don't want to be left hungry when things go wrong. Go to PREPAREWITH-VNN.com today, preparewithvnn.com. Get $50 off the 1-week meal kits. Now, as I mentioned, you think that things can go not wrong here? Well, this yesterday, communists were marching through America asking for revolution. Don't believe me? Well, take a look for yourself. Okay, well, it looks like things are going in a dark direction. Make sure that you're ready for this, because we never know when things are going to actually turn into a real revolution. Stay strapped, my friends. If you like more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe to our Rumble and our X account at Vigilant News. You can also get our newsletter, so these videos are straight into your inbox at vigilantnews.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.